Hey there, everybody, it's Wayne D here. Welcome to the website. You're looking at my favorite player, Tiger Woods, just about to play in his first tournament in almost a year down in the Bahamas. So this was the practice round he played the other day. Showed some swings, some short game shots, and I think the swing's looking pretty good, actually. It still has most of the. It's a combination of the characteristics of his swing changes over the years. I think he's probably lowering just a hair less in the backswing, but obviously you can see this looks like a fixed camera, so the hat is not super visible in the white sky, but if I draw a line there, you can see that at left arm parallel he's going to be slightly down. As he gets to the top, he's going to be more. Swing is definitely not all the way to parallel, which I think is going to be pretty common. And then as he makes the transition and uses the ground to change direction, you can see by the time he gets back to left arm parallel, he's lowered again. But it's not a massive amount. Now he's going to start using vertical force up into the ball. I like the footwork. I like the fact that he's getting to the outside portion of the back 2/3 of his left foot's not getting up on the toe. That shows that his hips are a little deeper. Here you can see he's got nice right hip depth in the backswing like he always does. And then there's that magic move I try to teach everybody. If you watch the pelvis, you'll see the belt buckle pull back and in, deepening the hips right there. As the right hip twists, now the left is going to really pull around hard, and he's going to get over to the back of that foot much quicker. Now there's really a good down the line shot in this batch, but what I'm hoping is that his hands are coming a little more toward the ball than straight down, because when they come straight down with the lowering that he does, he can get himself a little bit jammed up. I don't think that's the fault of the lowering. I think that's more the fact that he started to drop his arms more straight down. But you can really see, watch the right foot, it's going to slide in this way. So that's really giving us an idea that his hip action is much better these days, because he doesn't really feel bad. He feels okay. So let's take a look. I'm not sure what this was a comparison. They just threw these up there. Just 3 swings. The one in the middle looks a little bit longer than the other 2. I would say these are all recent. And fairly similar, fairly wide. I think that's something that he's done differently since 2013, when the back injury started to really get him. He's gone back to stretching that thing out in the backswing. His arm swing is a little more limited than when he was young, but that's pretty much what happens to everybody. But it still looks like he can generate plenty of force. Here are a couple of short game shots. I think Tiger Woods has a great golf swing, and he can hit the ball if he can keep the driver in play. And I think what he has not demonstrated over the past number of times he's tried to come back, he really hasn't demonstrated the short game prowess that he was known for when he was the greatest. I mean, there are guys that can really hit the ball, but Tiger would get it up and down and putt it pretty much better than everybody. So here's a couple of interesting shots. You'll see him on this one. Let's go back to that one. He's going to have to, if you look at the way the shot is, what type of shot he needs to play here, it's a back to front sloping green, and it's really fast. So this ball has to land soft and check and then dribble down the hill, as you can see. So what he's going to have to do on this shot is he's going to have to use the bounce, and using the bounce really is maintaining the angle in the back of the left wrist so that the club at impact is not forward leaning as much as there is bounce on the club. So when he takes this back, what you're going to see as he comes back into the ball is he's going to let that wrist return at that angle, and the club is going to clip. Look at the face right there. So you can see the back of the club is going to scoot underneath the ball. The ball is going to hit a little higher in the face and roll up a little bit on the face, or it's going to spin the ball as though it would roll up. Now the ball is going to take off a little higher with a little bit more spin. Now when it comes to grain and it comes to different kinds of lies, he's been having a little bit of a problem making contact. So I kind of thought on some shots that he was trying to play before that he was trying to use the bounce on too many shots when he should have been maybe forward leaning the club just to get the contact better. So in this shot here, he is using a classic chipping stroke where he's got the ball back, he's got his weight forward, his hands are forward, he's using his putting grip, and you can see he's got the shaft leaning forward. He's going to forward press it so it's more forward. Now that left wrist is flat, and he's going to keep it like that right through. So you can see pretty much zero wrist cock, and now you're going to see a tiny little lean into the left. Not much leg movement though, almost none. And he's going to catch this thing with a little more forward lean, and he's just going to maintain that left wrist flat right past the ball and just give it a little pop. So I would call that a chip. Anytime you see a guy take it back and the club gets up here, and then when they're moving the hips around, I would call that a pitch. You don't really hear that. Everything's a chip on TV, but I think it's good for people to understand the difference, and that's a really good example. Now here's some short game shots that were filmed, and this where he could be, it's going to really have to make up. He's going to miss a few, some greens, but he's going to need to get these up and down. So there's one that gets stuck in the grass a little bit. These shots, after he plays in some tournaments, I think his short game is going to definitely come around. So these are the tough ones, the uphill into the grain shots. Just hard to gauge. So he's got one chunked short and one going past. The other thing I think that's really important is going to be how he finishes his rounds. What kind of fatigue factor is going to set in on the last 3 or 4 holes. Can he keep moving as well as he wants to, and can he hang in there if he gets one going offline? But he's Tiger Woods. I think he's going to play fairly well, and if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to come back and be a top player again. All right, that's Wayne D, and that's Tiger.